Hey, good afternoon, guys. Thought I'd just take a couple, half an hour, 45 minutes to do a live stream. The market's closed. We can kind of organize our thoughts. And I wanted to just kind of point out, basically a few things that we're watching. So we're going to get started here in just a little bit. Guys, let me know if you can hear me. It's probably going to be a pretty quick video, but what we'll do is we'll just go through a couple of charts that I'm looking at, talk about a few things, and then I'll go through any kind of chart you guys want me to look at. If you want me to look at a certain stock, again, I'm just going to do technical analysis on it and leave a comment below, and I'll take a look at that. So let's go ahead and get started. I want to start out today's live stream with a couple things. Last week last week, pretty light week. I was for the most part just watching the markets. Took a couple trades. They didn't quite work out. The one of the trades was Alcoa. Let's go ahead and look at that real quick. We were trading on this upward price channel here. We had negative divergence building, and we traded right into that resistance. So I liked it as a short right into this resistance. But, the next day gapping up and just kind of being right around here, I just stopped out right in there, right above the highs. It was about a 3.5% loss on that. But nothing, it wasn't a huge position. Everything that I was trading last week was really smaller size and smaller positions, because last week and this week we've got pretty thin trading. A lot of the big boy institutions, the institutional money is all on vacation. They're wrapping up the books. They're not going to be making wild plays, wild moves towards the end of the year. A lot of them, they're sitting on big gains when it comes to like long trading strategies. They want that year to close out with those gains so they can get those bonuses. So I wouldn't expect too much to happen in, till the end of the year. And that's why I think it makes sense to just keep your trading light, keep your position sizing maybe half size of what you normally do. You can still add to positions if it makes sense, but that's just kind of how I was trading it. Now, I'm looking at some of these ARK Invest stocks for the innovation fund. They've been pretty bombed out. You can see here, ARK, from the highs here, ARK is down. The innovation fund was down at 43% right there from the all-time highs. So definitely been bombed out pretty good. And when I see things that have been sold off pretty strong, I start to get interested to the long side. Now, I'm not necessarily interested in just going long the whole ETF, but I think there's a couple that maybe look kind of interesting. Tesla's the top holding of ARK. Now, this is pretty much retail price action. This is just performance chasing. Last week, again, like everyone's just dying to buy Tesla last week. Pretty thin trading right there. Nothing that I would really get too excited for. If you're long, I don't see any real reason to not stay long, but I'm not interested in being long this thing. But we did hit that support area right there at 912. So that was an area that looked like it could bounce. I also don't see any kind of negative divergence, really. I see downward momentum on the indicators. I see downward price action. So we're having a rally within what looks like a downtrend, at least in the short term. You can see we're making lower highs. And so, I don't know where this will stop out, but I'm not too interested in it, at least till we get into next year and we start seeing what's going on. But that's the top holding. But some of these other ones look kind of interesting, like Roku. So Roku, you can see here, bullish divergence. See how the momentum's turning up like that? And bullish crossover right there on the PPO. Clear bullish divergence. And so as you see here, as I zoom in, see the wick? That wick right there, that's a divergent low. They undercut this support level, which is about 202.38. Hit that level, you got to bounce. Came back in, undercut it, but recovered it, and we're bouncing again with the divergent low. So pretty bullish setup, at least in the short term. Ideally, you could try to buy it down at this 201.60, but I don't know if you'll get that opportunity. But, and it's up 15% already off that. But that was your clear area of support. We've got some resistance, it looks like, right there. So we're kind of stuck in this range. So a breakout to the upside of 236.34 area. Start getting hourly closes above that. That might be good for a trade up to this key level right here. And again, my level might be off a little. We'll drop it down right about there, 294.16. I probably wouldn't want to go much beyond that. That's a clear level of resistance. All right, you've got 3 reactions, but maybe it wants to trade up and hit that and then get rejected. It's a bullish setup for sure, so I'd watch that one. Maybe they'll try to run it up there as part of this Santa Claus rally thing. The Santa Claus rally typically happens because what happens is you get a lot of the institutional traders, they step out, they go on vacation, and then you've got just retail money flow, 401k money that's just kind of always flowing into the market, always bullish. 401ks, when the market goes down, 401ks lose money. That's pretty much across the board. Sometimes people are smart enough, they pull their 401ks and go to cash, but there's no short funds really for 401ks. So for the most part, they're going to lose money when the market goes down. And you have that money that's just always there flowing in. And when the market gets thin, like it does during the holiday time, typically you just see this kind of drift higher, this float higher, and that's the Santa Claus rally. All right, so that's Roku. I was looking at Teledoc, seeing what we had going on here. So we've got some bullish divergence on that one. So I'm seeing some of these bombed out. See that bullish divergence? So there's your divergent low right there. What I'd look for, like we have some resistance right here at 102.30 area. If I look at the hourly, you can kind of see it right there. See the support, resistance. So yeah, maybe we float up to there. A break above that, we're probably going to go, we do have this downtrend line here. Let's see if we can kind of mark that out. It's not that clean, but I'd say it's about right there. So yeah, there's always the potential to go all the way up there. That would probably be something that'll happen in the coming weeks to months. But yeah, there's a potential, a trade up to that resistance, 102.39. It's not a huge move, but it's a move of about, 7-8% possible trade idea. You've got the bullish divergence. You've got the divergent low. Looks like it's kind of flagging too. If I go to the hourly, you see this, it's kind of flagging out, and it could just do that. All right, I think that's a high probability trade. Doesn't mean it's going to happen, but I think there's a good probability that does happen. Okay, so that's some of the ones I was looking at. There's obviously some others, but these stocks have been bombed out pretty good, so they could be due for like a relief rally, and it would make sense because these are kind of the retail trading mania stocks that happened. These had huge runs, and a lot of retail people plowed into these things, and so to see these things catch a bid during this low volume Santa Claus rally makes sense. All right. So what do you guys got? What kind of stocks would you guys like me to look at? My favorite pick right now is these gold stocks. I just, they're working. I mean, they were working last week, and they're continuing to work. Here's gold futures, here's gold bullion. And again, here's your longer term trend, and we're holding that trend. It's a bullish trend, so until that trend breaks, we're looking to buy at support. And the thing that I like about these gold stocks, they're not in a mania. They're not in a huge, nobody likes them, so it's not a crowded trade. If you're in a crowded trade, you never know when that crowded trade's going to end, but this thing's not a crowded trade. And so these will likely, if they're going to continue to rally, will become a crowded trade. But you want to be in early before the crowd shows up. That's how you make most of the money. And again, back here in August, this is when I was starting to turn bearish on the stocks. I pretty much exited most of my mining positions around this time, and then I didn't really start to get bullish again on these gold stocks till we were back here in like April, and started to build positions. Now it's been, I've been bullish on these things for a while, but we're not losing money. In fact, we're making money. It's just we're just kind of consolidating, and I think we're going to start to creep higher. We're also got this. See this triangle? Well, let me grab that right there. This triangle. We're kind of compressing within this triangle. So that's a compression pattern that's building energy, and the break will be most likely be impulsive. I think it's going to break to the upside. All right, so I'm bullish on these things. All right, what would you guys like me to look at? Leave a comment and I'll go through some of these stocks if you have any picks. I've kind of got the ones that I always look at, but I go through those quite a bit. I know Baba's been bombed out. This one's all right. So let's look at this one because I am kind of interested in this one. Bigger picture, Baba's in a bear market. Okay, so here's your 2015. Here's your bullish trend. We broke trend. Back here, I'm pretty sure I said I think Baba's likely hitting a top. I don't know what day I said that, but I'm pretty sure it was right up there. And when I look, Baba basically broke trend right here, and we back tested once, and down she goes. So clear bear market, and I don't see signs that bear market's just finished, but I am starting to see signs that we could look for maybe a pretty strong bear market rally. And sometimes bear market rallies they can be really good rallies to flip long on because you've got a lot of shorts. There's a ton of shorts piled into this thing. And when it starts to rally, those shorts start covering, and then the dip buyers are kind of always there. So you get a pretty impulsive rally. What I'm looking for, I think we're going to make a new low in Baba. I'd like to see a slightly lower low than this previous low, which is about 108.90. Kind of dip below. And then I'm looking for a break of this trend line right here. So those are kind of the conditions I'm looking for. The reason why I want to see that low, because that would be a divergent low, meaning we've got bullish divergence and it will be confirmed. So if we get a new lower low in price anytime soon, we'll probably have that bullish divergence show up where the momentum indicators will just make a higher low than the price does. Then I want to see that recover, turn around, and break this trend line. And if we get that, then, I think we'll trade up to this level, 130.34. Not sure where I get that level. Yeah, it's some former areas of support. And we did have a reaction right there on that level. So I think we trade up to there, probably get a pullback, and then maybe even break above and go fill this gap. All right, that would be the final target right there at 161.22. But let's say we break that anytime soon. We're looking at a 36% rally. That's pretty consistent, maybe a little bit more. It's pretty consistent with a good bear market rally within this bear market. All right, so that's what I'm watching for on Baba. It's just a setup. It's not even a full setup. But just trying to outline. If we start to see that, we're gonna, I'll start to point that out in my videos, and then we'll look to jump on that trade. I own a bunch of Newmont Mining NEM. I like that one a lot. For one thing, so my preference on the miners is to stick with the larger miners. I don't really like to get into the juniors too much. There's a couple juniors here and there that I'll sprinkle a little bit on, but for the most part, if I don't feel comfortable taking large positions on the junior miners. So Newmont being the largest miner, it's definitely, it's kind of a proxy to gold, and that chart that I showed you on gold bullion looks like it's in a bullish trend. And so like this will give you a little leverage on that. Newmont closed right at resistance right there. So I was looking for the break of that. Even if it broke, though, last week, it's not the best break. But see that resistance right there? And look at that candle. So we broke above it, failed, and closed back below it right there. So that's a tell. You know, we got key resistance. Now Thursday closing right there at that resistance level. So we'll see. You know, that's a lot of tags. We've got what, you know, even right in here it was still holding resistance. We got 1, 2, 3, 4 tags of that level, and that's, you know, it's about 59.50, we'll call it. So depending on, you know, when you see a break of that, that's bullish, and we should head higher. Until that breaks, that is resistance. So what happens from here? You know, I don't know. We could get another pullback. As far as I can tell, pullbacks are meant to be bought, and I get that from this divergence. See this bullish divergence down here? Look at this momentum just moving higher and higher and higher, while price, see, look at that. You got a low, a series of lows, and then this was a new low right here. I have it circled, a new divergent low right there. Sorry about that. My kid came in. So there's your new divergent low right there. And basically each new divergent low is a potential buying opportunity. And then also you see this trend line right here. Resistance, resistance, resistance. We broke above. It was support, and then just a series of undercut it, but it didn't go anywhere, and they recovered it, and it's been support pretty much ever since. So I think we're going to break that level, but, you know, we got to see it. It should be impulsive when it breaks, too. So look for a big bullish candle sometime soon. Whether it comes next week, I don't know, but look for a big bullish candle, and I think that sets us off to the races. Now, the way this usually will trade, you'll get that big bullish candle. So I already have a big, good-sized position in this. The big bullish candle will come, and then you're probably going to get a pullback. At some point, you're going to test this again. That will be your next buy zone if we break above there. You could add to that position. But again, you want to see you don't want to see just a daily close just barely above that. You want to see that big, nice bullish breakout candle with volume. Okay, moving on from that one. Great Panther Mining. I don't know that one. What's the symbol? That's probably a junior, huh? Yeah, so that's just a penny stock. You know, and I don't typically analyze these, but I clearly see some momentum moving up. And you got divergent low right there. See that divergence? Big gap to fill, so that's a clear target right there. And that's at about, what, 36 cents? And, you know, I'd probably wait for some sort of a break of what looks to be this trend line as your buy signal. So you have, it's a bullish setup for sure. You have bullish divergence. You've got a downward trend. But I need to see a break of that. An hourly close, you get the break. I think you break that, you're going to go fill that gap. And yeah, these can be profitable. You just got to, you know, usually this stuff happens quickly. 40, 42, 43% potential gain, depending on when it actually breaks. So it's definitely a setup, bullish setup, but not something I'd want to be long until I see that break, most likely. You could take a starter position, but again, you have to be, I wouldn't go anything heavy and anticipate the break, but bullish divergence is not a reason to go long, all right? That doesn't give you a buy signal because this can just drift and drift and drift, all right? So, and then break way down way later. But that's definitely a setup for sure. I like that, actually. I'm going to throw that on my, what kind of mining do they do? So this is a gold miner. We're going to go ahead and add this to my watch list. And we'll keep an eye on that one. All right, what else do you guys got? I'm going to go about 10 more minutes. Nothing crazy today. So leave me a thumbs up, guys, if you haven't done so. I do appreciate that. Just kind of helps the channel. Gold looking scary. Yeah, Baba could be going to zero for sure. But you're not going to go to zero straight. You're not going to go straight down. You know, and there's trades along the way. I'm just trying to point out a potential trade that might show up. Yeah, I bought some VZ maybe 2 weeks ago, and I think I added to it last week. But Verizon, AT&T both had bullish setups, and I pointed those out a couple of weeks ago. I don't remember the exact video, but bullish falling wedge pattern here on Verizon, bullish divergence on both momentum indicators, and a clear bullish breakout candle. Look at that. Look at that. That's what you want to see for a buy signal. That's a big move. That was what, 4 or 5%. Good move for this kind of a stock. And it looks like it's just flagging out. So you got that, you flag out, you know. So I think at a minimum, 53.87, you know, there's some clear resistance right there. Possibly higher though, you know. So from where we're at, it's not a, you know, what, 2%, you know, upside, because it's already made a decent move. But I think we probably can go higher, but I would just expect a pullback on that level, some sort of a short-term rejection. And then we break above, you know, then we'll see, you know. It's kind of a big zone right here, a big choppy zone. So maybe we just recover and head up to the, you know, upper end of that zone around 59, 60 bucks. All right, DKNG. Yeah, I was looking at that one before this video. All right, so here's the support zone. It's right there about 2780 area. I've kind of got a lot of these zones marked out. We've got some bullish divergence right there on the RSI. On the PPO, it's not quite there on the PPO, so we'll see. And then I had this trend line marked out. You know, you've got 1, 2, 3 tags of that, and then we broke above or back tested once. I think I'd probably want to wait on this one to break above this 3064 area. And if we get that break, then, you know, if we get that break, then I think we probably can head up to 35.47, 35.50, something like that. It's promising, but it's, you know, I don't know. I'm a little iffy on it because I don't have all the, you know, I don't have the bullish divergence on the PPO. The breakout of this trend line, the trend line has 3 reactions, so it's valid. It's just not, you know, the more than 3, the better, but it does have 3. And the breakout wasn't that impulsive. We just barely broke out and just can't, we're not really going anywhere, so not my favorite. LUNMF, that's got to be a penny stock. I'll probably pass on that one, but I can look. LUNMF. Oh, I guess it's not a penny stock. This is a mining company. I don't know what they mine, but let's see what we got going on. So, yeah, here's your highs. Clear trend line right there. Downward price channel as far as I can tell. Kind of in the middle. Big bullish divergence. So we've got, you know, divergent lows. As far as I can tell, I probably want to wait for a break of this channel. So it's got some work to do. Right in the middle. It's kind of in no man's land. So, you know, maybe buy. I'd want to buy down here as long as that bullish divergence is still there. And or maybe buy on a break above this. And that's really it. That's all I see on that one. Wheat. Bullish trend. You know, you look, clearly, this is why I like the inflation trade. So the inflation trade, if you guys aren't familiar, I think a lot of people probably are, but that's going to be like commodities. It's going to be, you know, these ag commodities, iron, the mining, you know, anything that really sells that stuff is kind of a leveraged play on it. And you've got wheat, clear downtrend line from 2011, bear market in commodities, a bottoming period, and clear uptrend. This is not a bear market rally anymore. We're making new highs, so it's clear bullish trend. So, you know, now that you're in a bullish trend, you want to buy on support. Now I see support right here at, you know, it's all the way down here. Yeah, I don't know. I'd like it more. I'd like it to pull back. I want to buy it down here on this major support. I don't think this is the area to buy it. Maybe down here. Look, the Fed's going to try to fight inflation. They're not. I don't think they're going to be able to really fight it. They're going to watch interest rates. If inflation's probably going to pull in a little bit, you know, eventually, probably going to pull in maybe 5%, 4 or 5%. But the interest rates aren't going to be above that. So inflation's going to be running hotter than what they can get those interest rates at, which means these should continue to benefit. But you know, the market's going to maybe say, oh, they're going to fight it, and they'll just sell this thing down to support, and then you can buy it down there. That's probably what I'd like to do. Kind of like soybeans. Here's soybeans. You know, this one, I bought, you know, I'm long this one, but nice correction. Bullish divergence, I got those circled. See, there's a low. That's a divergent low. There's another divergent low. We wait for a break of the downtrend line. There's your break. And now it's buy the dip, right? You don't want to buy the dip until you get the break of the downtrend. So there's your break. You can buy it on the break. There's a dip or a back test. You could buy it, you know, add there or buy more. And there she goes, off to the races, you know, moving up. So, yeah, that's good. So I like that, and I actually like it up here to the 2483, and probably higher, but at a minimum up there. You know, it makes sense to probably pull the trade up there. You know, let that thing pull in, and then wait for another break above there to get back into it. All right, guys, I'm gonna cover 3 more, and then I'm gonna wrap up. So happy holidays to everyone. I hope you have a very relaxful time. We cannot think about the markets for a little while. That can be hard for many of us that are involved in the markets, but, you know, so this is going to be it. And then I'll be back on, you know, Monday. I think the markets are open on Monday. Well, again, next week's going to be a pretty light week, so I'm going to keep it light as well. All right, 3 more. So which ones do you guys want to cover? XLF. Let's look at XLF. I'm interested in XLF. Look, it's right at resistance. It's just chopping around. But look, you've got this level right here at 38.90. Resistance, resistance, resistance. Broke above, broke back below. False breakout. Also, the bigger trend coming off March 2020. Support, support, and we broke. All right, so I'm bearish on these things. Even though there's this whole Fed hiking thing, people are probably saying, look, they can't hike that much. So we could backtest and do a new high. That's possible, but that's not going to, you know, it's going to start with a break of this resistance level, which is right there, about 38.89. Chop through it a little bit, but I think we're going lower. I don't know, right here, 35.37. But no, I don't think it's breaking down yet. It's right there at resistance. I mean, bigger picture, we already broke down. All right, there's your uptrend line. We already broke down. So this is a sell the rip chart to me, you know. And if you got a rip all the way up to here and made a new high, that would be a really good spot to short this thing. All right. So if we're lucky to get that, then sure, I'll be short up there. You could short right here at this level. Again, it's choppy though. All right, that's all I got on that. Car. Well, I think car is going down. Look, here's your momentum mania spike. And if you bought on that day, you should have sold on that day too. Let's just put it that way, because it's pretty much just this drift lower. So I think car's heading down to this area. And I think car's heading down to this trend line. Let's see, we've got this red trend line here. Well, we're just going to have to adjust that. It's basically right there. So we'll probably head down there. 140.11. I think everybody who bought on this day, if they're still long, they're going to be underwater. I don't like it. All right, one more, guys, and then I'm going to wrap up. Yeah, Monday could be a big sell-off. But, you know, who knows, really. You guys want me to look at the triple Qs or anything? Got one more. Just going to scan through these and pick one. You want to look at the energy stocks, XLE. Yeah, I already went through BABA, so you can go back and watch the video. I covered BABA already. And the setup that I'm looking for. It's not even really a setup yet, but BMY. What's that one? I've traded that in the past, I think. Oh, yeah, Bristol Myers. MGM, look, MGM did pop above my resistance line, but it was just kind of floating up there, kind of selling down up there. I'm gonna wait till next week to see what happens. You got to give these things a little room, especially on these low volume weeks, these holiday weeks right now. You're going to have the algos running stops like crazy, and it's a thin market, so they can just run stuff all over the place. So got to give it a little room. That's my reading on that one. Alcoa was a clear, that one clearly was pretty bullish and closing strong, and it was time to get out of that one. But MGM doesn't look the same. It looks a little weaker, so we'll see. Give it a little room is what I would say. Yeah, KHC. We can look at that one. All right, last one, guys. And then if you guys want me to look at something in one of my weekly videos, just leave a comment. Just kind of keep commenting. I see those comments. I do try to cover them. I'm always looking for ideas myself, so I pop open those charts, kind of analyze them. And if something looks good, I'll bring it up in a video. All right, so KHC, this thing's chopping around this key level right here, 35, 40. I need to look. We recovered it right here, and then it failed, and now we're just right there. So, I don't know, to be honest. This isn't a divergent low right here. This is bullish momentum, bullish price. Maybe we're heading lower. I don't know, to be honest. I think I have a small position in this one, but it's pretty small. So if it starts going against me and I cut it, it's not going to be huge losses. Still looking for that gap fill, though, all the way up here at 48. I don't know. If it was down here on this trend line with bullish divergence, that would be a lot more of a bullish setup where I'd want to start buying. We don't quite have that, so... Yeah, I don't know. Let me do Uber real quick. Uber's already played out, but it did have a bullish setup. I saw it. I just didn't point it out. But look, this is the stuff for future reference. Look for this, And if you guys can't find these things, take my course. I kind of teach you how to find these things and how to analyze it so that you can find these trades for yourself. But look, there's your bullish, because I can't find everything and point it out. Bullish divergence on the RSI wasn't really there on the PPO, but you had it on the RSI. So that was a divergent low right there. And then what you want to do is look for a downtrend line and look for a break of that. So downtrend, I don't know, maybe something like that. Right in there. See if we can kind of, something like that. You broke out, back tested, and off she went. So you could buy on the break, you could buy on the back test, off she went. Probably higher from here. At this point, I think you're going to get up to this resistance line. But it isn't a downtrend. So, if I was long this thing, I would look to start taking profit probably slightly below, right in that area, 46, 47. Because, look, you're making a low, lower low, lower low, lower low. All right, it's downtrending. Clear downtrend. So what I would do is, you've got some resistance up here. You have a potential downtrend. Let me mark that out as well, because there's clearly a downtrend. Yeah, let's see if we can grab that. It's something like right there. Yeah, I'd probably go right about there. So I'd be looking to take profit on a tag of that downtrend line, I guess. Yeah. Maybe you get a tag. Boom. Hit that. That's where I'd want to take profit. And I'd probably even step in a little bit before, you know. Because you want to front run the levels a little bit. You know, if you're running into resistance, front run that. And if you're falling to support, front run that. You know, just by a little bit. But maybe you want to take profit at what, 46, 20, 46 bucks. I'd feel good about that. And that's the trade. Or you could short right there, you know. That's all I got, guys. So everyone have a great holiday. Hit that thumbs up button on your way out, all right? And we'll catch you guys later. All right, take care.